What's up? What's up? All right. Make sure everything's off. And this training is going to go live. Let me just make sure that it is. Boom. All right. All right. So we are live there. I'll also record it on this computer. What up, world? I know this is going live on Facebook. I know this is going live right here on this call. This is going to be repurposed everywhere. It's going to be on my podcast, The Science of Flipping, on iTunes. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. It's going to be on all of my social media. And the reason why I'm doing this, and you're going to see a lot more of this, is Mr. Parker Stiles, as you guys are watching this, and whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, is here. He is a incredible investor. He actually is a part of our boardroom elite mastermind. So I work very closely with him on a one-on-one basis. From time to time, he just wants to get on a call and have questions, and I'm happy to answer them. So I figured, well, fuck it. Let's make it go live. Let's put it on Facebook. Let's make it go on the interweb and social media web and everywhere you can possibly go, man. So what is up, Parker? What's going on, man? I know you had a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, so just been, man, I feel like I've been traveling around everywhere just nonstop lately. I'm kind of ready to just cool it and sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, man. Is that like a gun case behind? What do I got behind you right now? I feel like that's a gun case you have in there.
It is. It is a massive gun case. So right now I'm working out of one of my good buddies' basements because we're like, because we have our place in Colorado in the mountains. Yep. And we're renting out our primary residence, but we're like, let's come back to Georgia for, 90 days and see family, see friends, do some lake stuff, do some beach stuff, and some East Coast stuff, I guess.
Hell yeah. No, I got you. That's some good stuff. And so I've been working with you one-on-one for quite some time now, for a better part of a year. And you and I've really dug into your business and looked at your KPIs and looked at your marketing and looked at all that kind of stuff. What has been one big takeaway that you've been able to, specifically when you and I are talking, that you've been able to take into your business and implement immediately? Like, what's that one big takeaway?
I remember going to one of the boardroom events and talking to you. And I think the big thing that I really just charged away from that event with was just KPIs, because I wasn't really tracking anything.
Totally.
I was doing some good deals, and I was pretty, consecutive with everything, and, the revenue was there. But if I was getting asked these questions by these other people, the whole reason we joined Boardroom Elite was just to be surrounded by people who were doing bigger business than we were. And so they were like, oh yeah, what's your cost per lead? And I was like, whoa, what? What's
my cost per something? What? I don't.
Yeah. I was like, well, I mean, I can tell you how much we're paying per postcard. No. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like, well, what's your, all these other KPIs basically, to make a long story short. And I was just like, wow, this is something that I really need to be doing. And honestly, it showed me my blind spots that I just didn't see what was going on. And luckily at the time, things were going pretty good. So I didn't have a reason to really dive in. But then, we did hit some slow spots, and luckily I had, before that, just started to track everything. So we had a better, we had better visibility looking into our business and saying, okay, well, these numbers aren't what they should be. So this is what we should try and do to increase these numbers. And this is the role that's responsible for keeping these numbers at this range. So I need to go talk to this person and see if they're, still in the right seat, or if this is the best fit, for the company. So that was the main thing, is just really going and tracking everything from tracking nothing.
I actually did a live training last night. It's a 4-week marketing training. But the last night's first week primarily was KPIs. The reality is to be able to take it from what you were doing, which was making a bunch of money, but it was more like a hobby, like it was just something fun and you were doing well at it, and turning it into an actual business where now you're spending 90 days living in your buddy's basement. I don't even know what you're doing, but you're spending 90 days away from your actual territory, away from your actual business, still working on it, but you're not in it, right? And that's the key. Is now you've got to a point, now you've been in our mastermind for a year plus, you're at a point now that you've built a business that you don't have to be there anymore. And tell me if you disagree, but I would contribute that to the fact that you actually know your numbers, so that you know, if I put in X amount of dollars, I'm going to receive an X amount of dollars, and I have to convert like this, right? Is that a big part, the KPIs?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big part to KPIs. I think before I still had that mindset, I just didn't really have anything to back it up on.
Yep.
I was still saying to myself, if I drop, 15,000 plus or minus cards a month, I'm going to receive, about this many deals, or I'm going to receive about this much revenue. But if somebody really asked me, then this is before I was tracking, that was my mindset. So I guess as a baseline, it's always kind of been that. It's just now I have the actual numbers where it's like, if I drop this many cards, I'm going to receive this many phone calls, and this many phone calls is going to equal this many leads, and this many leads equals this many appointments, and it goes all the way down the line. And yeah, I think talking about the call with you and Kent and Sean last night, I think is what it was.
Yeah, that was a major call. We have the Scale and Escape event. Are you coming down to San Diego?
Yeah, I'll be in San Diego.
I love that. So kind of a soft promotion for those of you who are going to be watching this video, wherever you see this, social media. If you are ready to take it to a business, get to the Scale and Escape event. If you're on Facebook and you're watching this, direct message me. Just send me a direct message. If you want to email me and you want to get to the Scale and Escape event, email me at justin@thescienceofflipping.com, justin@thescienceofflipping. This event is going to be small. There's going to be 150 people. It's meant for people actively doing deals. You have to have done at least 1 or 2 deals to even be considered, because we're going to be talking about scaling a business, not getting into a business. So if you're watching this on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, listening on iTunes, wherever you might see it, social media, direct message me if you're interested, and or email me directly, justin@thescienceofflipping, and we'll talk about getting you into the Scale and Escape event. So with all that out of the way, bro, let's talk about the questions that you actually wanted to talk to me today about. And I said, hey, instead of doing just a phone call, let's record it and let everyone else know. Because if you have the questions, brother, I know there's a lot of people who have the questions.
For sure. So, I mean, one of the main things has just been with the cold calling. I feel like my leads haven't been as high as they should be. And I know data is a big piece to that we talked about at one point in time. So I've been looking at some more lists, maybe not, super high quality skip tracing, because I bought the phone numbers actually, but they came from, better sources. So they came from people actually, putting their number on the piece of paper, and then that gets put on the internet. So, or on the list that I purchased. So this is just a crappy skip tracing service. So that's one piece. But, how do you, I think one question that maybe I already know the answer to this, but it might help a lot of people, is like how to start that phone call. And I was on a Skip Genie call this morning, and the guy was like, well, how do you not really sound like a bill collector? But also you don't want to, you might not be talking to the right person. Like, what's the best way to start that phone call to where somebody's just not going to immediately put their shield up?
So first and foremost, you hit it on the head. I would answer you this. You and I have talked about me skip tracing your leads, right? And if you ever need that, I can do that for you. Okay. So always lean on me if you ever need it. But that's part of it. The better your contact ratio, the better your data, allows you to be a lot more confident when you're getting on the phone, because you should have a 90% accuracy. So for every 10 calls, 9 people should be the right person. So you don't have to figure out oh, is this going to be the right person? You can go into it 9 out of 10 times and assume you're going to get the right person. So that's massive.
How are you tracking that rate? Because I know you have your contact rate, and that's supposed to be about 10%, right?
10% of the call volume
of the dials.
Out of the people you actually talk to, 9 out of 10 will be accurate.
Okay, so out of your contacts, 9 out of 10 should be. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
So that helps your confidence going into every single call, right? So your framing of, oh, I'm not worried. I don't know if this is even going to be the right person. All of that gets removed. I mean, you basically can assume it's the right person 9 out of 10 times, right?
Well, let me ask you this specific. Finish what you're saying.
Well, I was just going to say, then it's a matter of your tonality, your energy. Like, I have my sale guys in the office, and you can't hear them right now, but a lot of them walk around. right? We bought them. We're throwing a bonus right now where we're going to go do it again, but we'll buy them earbuds. So right now they use the old school, like, you know, still doing this shit, and they're walking around, and which is fine. I still have them. These are mine. So you already have them, right? So we just threw a bonus to the guy who can bring in the most leads for this week that will buy him earbuds because they walk around, they have the energy going. So if you have that energy, I know, you know, because I did cold calling before I hired it. If you, for, you know, you might have 8 minutes where it's just no one's answering.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. I let my guys sit on, you know, their phone and they're fucking doing whatever they're doing. Some of them are even playing that damn video game, whatever it's called, right? But when people answer, they're up, they're walking, their energy. Hey, is this Parker? Yeah, this is Parker. Hey, listen, my name's Justin. I'm a local investor. I got your information because I'm looking to buy a home in the area. I had no idea whether you're interested in selling, but if you are interested in selling, I'm looking to buy a home very quickly and I can pay cash. Are you open to a cash offer?
Yeah.
That's exactly what they say. And then the conversation goes from there, right? So you say, well, I'm thinking about selling. Okay, great. Listen, that's all I can ask for. Let me ask you a couple just questions about if you were to sell, when would you like to sell? If you were to sell, do you know how much you would like? What are you going to ask for the home?
So you don't do anything to qualify those people really, as far as like, you know, hey, because we kind of go through a thing like, hey, well, you know, kind of a little bit how we work. We pay cash. We buy very quickly, blah, blah, blah. And because of those benefits, you know, we do buy at a fair discount. Is that something you're okay with? And
no, no, I don't do that at all. Right. I mean,
what's your reasoning for not doing that?
Well, because I have, you know, 22-year-olds on the phone. If I'm on the phone cold calling, I can massage those conversations just like you probably could, right? I would know when to say it, when not to say it. Right. I could tell from the tone of the seller. I have that ability, but if I'm hiring that out, I want them to have zero responsibility on judging that seller. All I want to know is when they're looking to sell, why they're looking to sell, and how much do they want.
So you just want that going to the acquisitions manager and then leave that up to them to qualify.
Hell yeah. Exactly right.
They need to. Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right. So I'll probably make some tweaks to our script. Let me pull it up right now. Mine's still pretty basic in the beginning. It's kind of just like, you know, hey, I could totally have the wrong number here. So I'm not sure, but is this John or anybody associated with 123 Main Street? Is kind of
that's, you got to remove that whole thing. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to get what you pay for, right? And everyone wants to just do it the cheap way. And I got that because, you know, it's money, right? And you and I have had a lot of intimate conversations where you're talking about, bro, I'm fucking spending a bunch of money. I need to make more, right? I got it. I've been there plenty of times. But I will tell you, you get what you pay for. And when it comes to data, I'm an advocate of paying more because you don't have to say what you just said. You don't have to say, hey, I'm not sure if I have the right. You sound so unprofessional. And I think it just takes away from all of your credibility, right? Okay. If you go into the call saying, hey, is this Parker? Yeah. Who's this? Weirdo. Oh, hey, my name's Justin. I'm actually just a local investor. I got your information because I'm looking to buy a home in the area. I'm a small-time local investor, but I do buy cash. I do close quick or can be flexible. Have you thought about selling and or interested in receiving at least an offer on your home? That's literally the script.
Okay.
So when you say, hey, I'm not sure if this is the right number, and if it takes away your credibility, right? So part of that will be change your script no matter what. Just do it. But then also, you know, really take me up on the skip tracing because your data will be a lot better.
How about this? What do you think about, I heard about this the other day from somebody that's in my Atlanta market. Mojo, I know it's not the high quality stuff and you kind of go towards the high quality. Well, I don't know, but he just.
Are you talking about the lead store?
Mojo said that they will skip trace an unlimited amount of data for you for $40 a month. I don't even know how they're doing that. But it's pretty. He said it's like a 60% not contact rate, but a 60%. Like you said, yours is 90%.
I would not. 60%. I mean, again, that's 30% difference. That means I'm going to touch 3 more people on the phone. When you touch 6, I touch 9.
But about a 4,000% cheaper price, $40 for say
But
10,000 records.
how much is your average wholesale deal? Look at the KPIs and you'll realize the value of this. How much is your average wholesale deal?
14
Gs, right?
roughly.
So I'm calling roughly 6,000 to 8,000 people a day.
Okay.
Take away a third of that. So what's a third? Call it 2,500, just for sake of argument. That means I have 2,500 more chances to find someone looking to sell.
Yep.
So for those 2,500 leads per day at 20 cents, is that $400? Is that right?
Yeah.
Roughly.
I think so.
Roughly $400. Times 5 is 2 Gs a week. Times 4 is $8,000. In 1 month, it's going to cost me an extra $8,000. But to your point, you can make $14,000 on a wholesale deal. And I just got the wholesale deal because I just made an extra 10,000 calls that month than you did, basically because I have a better contact ratio. Did you follow me with that? I know that's a lot of math and we're just doing it off cuff.
No, I know. It's because it's the difference between the contact rate. So
I'll spend the $8,000 where you
might
won't.
have made the same amount of calls, but your calls went to the right person. Yeah.
And I'm spending the $8,000 that you didn't, right? It's an $8,000 difference. But now I'm making the $14,000 where you didn't.
Yeah. What's your
every day?
Do you know your cost per deal off the top of your head for cold calling?
Yeah, it's roughly $3,000 right now. I think it's like just under. It's like 2,900 and something. But I'm just
compared to direct mails, more like 5,000.
No, our direct mail is crushing again right now. I don't know what happened over the summer. The last 3 months have been awesome.
Nice.
And we're like 2,500 or something like that.
Wow, lower than cold calling.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why, your cost per deal for cold calling is probably a lot more than many others because they're not using that high quality. That's where most of your cost is coming in is,
amen.
Paying for that.
I'm an advocate of, I understand why you do it. And I have a lot of personal clients I work with that their budget isn't really there. And they're like, hey, I'm going to try it the cheap way first. And I'm all good with that because if you can see results, awesome. And then you can make a little bit more money and you do it what I would say is probably the right way. But dude, you're already up and running. You're already spending the freaking money.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of following the math I did and understanding those KPIs is super important. Yeah. I've done this long enough that I could kind of just do it off my head. But dude, I'm telling you, yeah, I spent another $8,000, but I also got the deal you didn't and made another 14.
Right. Yeah. And that's just the one deal. And I'm sure there can be more.
Oh, and there'll be from that amount of call volume, we'll get 1 or 2 more deals out of that.
Yeah.
So then you really start to look at it, right?
What we're about to do, because I think we've had that. I remember, we talked and you said, let's go more blanket. And we bought that big blanket list in Charleston, South Carolina, that was like 55,000 deep or something like that.
Yep.
We've been mailing to that. But I think Casey at least is wanting to swap that out. It's been about 3 quarters, I think, or so, maybe 3.5 quarters. And she's like, let's, we found some zip codes in there we don't want to mail to anymore. And I'm sure there's some stuff that's sold and stuff. And we also are mailing to a higher, we didn't qualify the price range. So they're in the Mount Pleasant area. There's a lot of like 500 plus houses, and we're probably going to make fair market value under 400K and only mail to those people because we found that in our area, that's just once you get above that, you don't really get any motivation really under like, 300, but I kind of want to leave that other 100 in there just in case, leaves room for some higher margin deals. But long story short, we're going to buy new lists for pretty much everything, I think, here pretty soon through ListSource. And that'll give us that 10,000 plus that we need to go through you and skip trace. And I think I'm just going to drop it and send that list to you, and we'll just get the good quality stuff for all those and upload it all into Mojo. So we'll have fresh direct mail lists that are a little bit more qualified for our blanket. And then we'll, skip all those and start calling them too.
Yeah. This is a random question. I've had many of my personal clients and mastermind members ask me. So I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but they said, hey, can we work out a relationship where you already have the call floor, you call the leads for us and hand us the leads? Would you have any interest? I don't know. Say yes or no. I don't know, but I've had a lot of people ask me for it. So I'm kind of like, if there's
I'm
a
tired of the
service.
whole VA thing. I tried to go the local route, and I went through a college, and I just found a lot of, it just, I couldn't keep people in their seats to
Yeah.
call. So I think if you found if you developed a system to where you can kind of keep people in their chairs on the phones and trained and everything, I definitely think, even if I didn't go through with it, there's still a lot of other people that would hands down take that.
Sure.
Depending on what the cost was, as long as it was worth it to you and still worth it to everybody else. But didn't John Martinez do something like that with like seller snipers or something? And
I heard he did. I never looked into it. John is awesome, by the way, so I'm a huge advocate of John. So I heard he did. My understanding is he just didn't have the bandwidth to keep it going, but I don't know for sure, right? So
he's doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But John's awesome. I mean, I'm a huge advocate of John Martinez. So
yeah, both my acquisition guys are going to the
his
boot camp
training
for the second time in September.
Awesome. So did you see a massive value in his boot camp? Did the first time they went, did you see him just flip that switch?
I wouldn't call it a switch flipped, but it was definitely worth the money that I spent. It wasn't
Okay.
like, I mean, because they were fairly trained to begin with, and they had already done we had already gone through the whole online course one time together, and we would talk about it afterwards. And, that was every Wednesday. So they already had a little bit. So going to the boot camp was more of like we'd skip one quarter, and the next quarter they'd go to the boot camp, and then we'll skip another quarter. And every other quarter, they're either going to the boot camp or they're going through the online training, whether it's, they feel like it's stuff they already know or not. Like, it's just, you got to be repetitive with that stuff. And overall, definitely worth the money.
Amen. Cool. What else you got going? What else did you need questions?
See, we got the direct mail.
Oh yeah. So again, before you make an answer for that, unless you love that guy, but I'd love to get you introduced to my guy. My guy's awesome, and you can pick the best of the best, whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't fall in love with him, but he's, he answered the questions correctly, but I think we need to have a conversation with your guy too, and just go through that and pick the best one. Let's see. Online's doing better.
Good. Who are you using on? Oh yeah, you and I talked about that. So that picked up after you had that conversation.
Yeah, we realized that I think one of the main things was our conversion rate was low. And for everybody out there that's in multiple markets that's trying to have one website for two separate markets. So, Barrington Acquisitions is my company. And I was like, hey, we invest in Charleston, we invest in Atlanta. That really hurt our conversion rate for people going to the site. And I assume just saying, hey, these aren't my local guys that I'm looking for, because they're in Atlanta too, or they're in Charleston too. So they must not really know this area too well. So once we split those pages up on our PPC to where they were driven to only the Charleston, South Carolina page, Barrington page, or only the Atlanta, Georgia page, that really brought I think we were down closer to 10% conversion. And that brought us up to like 16.67 within a couple weeks, and then 20% for Atlanta. So that's getting closer to that area where we want to be in, kind of, 18 to 25% conversion rate. But the problem was we had dropped down PPC because the conversion rate was so low. But then once the conversion rate got better, we didn't bring PPC spend up. So we just didn't have like the breadth to be able to drive the volume to the site to see the difference. And now that we're doing that with the increased conversion rate, it's really pumping, more leads through it. And we're just,
Good.
I'm just making sure I'm taking all the online leads on myself, and, we're training a new lead manager anyway. So that's kind of another story, but I don't want anything falling through the cracks with the online leads. They get a call right then as soon as I see it. And that way I know that, if there's anything happening with online, it's not because the leads falling through the cracks. It's on the, the PPC or the SEO side.
Amen. Okay, good. I like to hear that.
But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't have a whole lot. I don't have any other questions. I don't think. Just
Okay.
overall, really enjoying just being able to, what this business offers, being able to do it virtually. We're, here for a day and then going to the lake tonight, staying up there for 2 weeks, going back to the beach.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. You're
that, it's just
this is why we do it, right? I mean, you're making the income to live the life that you want to live. And I'll tell you this now, and this is something I've come to the realization over the last year or so, year and a half. I've lived an incredible life my whole life. But the last year and a half has just been, I've traveled the world. Like I've done some amazing stuff. And it's because the argument is I could put more money in my pocket. I could technically make more money if I didn't live the lifestyle I live. But that's why I do what I do, is because I want the lifestyle. I want the experiences. I want the memories. I want what you're talking about, going up to the lake for 2 weeks. You're out of your own element for the last 90 days. Like that's the lifestyle. So I'm incredibly proud of you, first of all, but that is for me and obviously for you and Kent. And that's the mission we're on is, could you technically be putting more money in your pocket? Yeah. But then what's the point? I mean, money only goes so far in terms of you can stack it up, but if you're not living the life, I'm happy for you, bro.
And by no means is, for people listening, is everyday gravy.
Oh.
We know we've got those days.
We
like
eat plenty of shit. Don't worry.
Oh yeah,
I'm with you. Life punches us in the mouth plenty.
it just happens like that. But you just got to put it in perspective. I mean, you look up and things may be going really bad, but I'm just from my perspective, I'm sitting there. I'm on my computer and in the dining room looking out the sliding glass door, watching the waves crash, and it's just like I could be stuck in rush hour traffic right now.
100%.
Job in a suit that's too tight, going to work for a boss that I don't like listening to. I mean, it's just you go on, and no matter how much stress I'm going through with this, it's always better than the alternative that I could have had that I picture in my head. So appreciate you for getting me off the ground and getting things rolling. And when I'm in a jam, help me get out of it. That's what we all need.
That's it, man. It's about being around. That's the power of a mastermind, right? I mean, we really haven't talked much about it, but you're there. And so you surround yourself with bigger, better people that are doing bigger. And that's proximity to power. We talk about it all the time. Proximity is power. So that's awesome. Happy to be here for you, man. Thank you very much for the time and the call and the whole thing. If you guys, if you are watching this, wherever you are, it's going to be repurposed between iTunes and YouTube and social media. And you do want to be the next Parker, you want to get to the next level, get to the Scale Escape event, direct message me on social media, shoot me an email, justin@thescienceofflipping.com. Scale and Escape event is the first week of September, 6th to the 8th. Parker will be there. Shake his hand, my hand, Kent, Sean, so many other amazing people. So shoot me a direct message, email me. Peace.
Later, guys.